week's big question, we're asking, is it time for Africa to have a unified transfer window?
Football's transfer market is just like any other. People buying and people selling. But unlike this market, it's not open all year round. Football's governing body FIFA only allows 2 transfer windows, one in the break between seasons that can last up to 12 weeks, and one in the middle of the season that can last for 4 weeks.
It will be for the benefit of football, it will be for the protection of the young players, for the protection of the training clubs, and it will be also for the protection of the fan.
The media, fans and even footballers have grown to love the excitement the window and its deadlines create, but it's far from simple. Each country can decide when their 2 windows open and closes. In Africa, there are 52 countries that have their windows listed on the FIFA website. Some are similar, but of those 52, no 2 countries use exactly the same dates. And many people think that has to change.
It's crazy. One transfer window is starting in January, another is starting in March, other is starting in September, another very close to December.
UEFA is currently considering a shake-up of its European system, one that could reportedly see every league use the same dates for its longer summer window. So is it also time for a uniformed African transfer window?
100%. I would like to be all the same.
This is exactly what we need in Africa.
So it seems that there is a lot of support for the idea of a uniformed African transfer window. But what are some of the key issues with the current system where each country gets to pick its own date?
We have an offer with one club in Egypt. They want to sign one of our players. But we can't sell this player now because we can't get a replacement for this player because the transfer window here in Tanzania, it's already closed.
When to sell is the big dilemma clubs face because under the current system, they are allowed to sell abroad all year round. For example, Egypt's window is currently open, meaning teams there can buy players from Tanzania or anywhere else. But because Tanzania's window is short, the selling team can't replace whoever leaves. Only when the window in Tanzania reopens in June will they be able to buy again.
We are open to sell at any time, but we are not open to buy at any time. So what this means is that we are going to be suffering in the CAF competitions because we would have sold our players when we would not have the time and the money to find replacements.
South African teams would sign players in that July and August transfer window, but then couldn't use them in the Champions League. I remember when Mamelodi Sundowns won it in 2016, they signed quite a few players they would love to have used in that campaign, but those players had to sit on the sidelines.
Buying and selling players is a crucial part of football around the world, but generating money is of particular importance to clubs in Africa. In 2017, 534 professional clubs in Africa were involved in international transfers, spending $16 million in total. They made $58 million in sales. But those figures are dwarfed when compared to Asia, South America, and in particular, Europe. Some of the people we spoke to said aligning Africa's transfer window with that of Europe's would help more players make moves to big clubs there. But what are the obstacles?
The issue for Africa is that our leagues run over different times. So in some countries they run from sort of March to November, December. And in some countries like South Africa, a growing number of countries actually, they run along the European calendar of August to May.
If the league doesn't start at the same time, I don't think the transfer window would be able to work at the same time. So it's actually a problem.
The challenge in Africa in trying to get uniform, I guess, is the weather for a start. You know, through some months it's just almost impossible for them to play just due to the conditions, whether it be the rainy season, the heat, or whatnot.
I don't think you can have a uniform transfer window on the African continent. It's just such a big place. It celebrates its diversity. It's a massive continent. So many disparate things about it. And any attempt to create any sort of uniformity in Africa has failed miserably in the past, and I think it will do so in the future.
In recent years, we've seen the Africa Cup of Nations and the continent's major club competitions move to match the schedule of more than 3/4 of the African leagues. So most of the people we spoke to also back a change to the transfer window system. So we put a question to the people in charge of African football.
So I have a very good case. I'll bring it up in an executive committee meeting, present it to the president, and let's see, if it will enhance. Because you should also know that Europe is different from Africa. So, but whatever we want to do, we'll also do it in enhancing the fortune of the game.